Okay, so we should be
live
live
and proper.
Yes, should be. Let's hope.
Can you hear us, all two of you?
No one can tell. No one can tell. But I'm sure they'll watch it back later with greater aplomb.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I did with your podcasts.
Yeah, just watch like you're listening and hope one day he'll ask me on.
I didn't stay up on a Friday night to hear them live call.
I do hope people are at gigs rather than this, or going to a gig afterwards would be good.
What's on tonight? Should we have a look?
Gig-wise in Lowestoft, yeah. Who's
probably
around?
Some busker.
Who's around in Lowie? A busker. I'd go and watch that rather than this.
I don't know.
First person that comes in, we're going to pounce on and we're going to go, "Hello, mate."
There's a bloke called Jack Wiley who's put a single out today.
Has he?
Hey!
That's why we're here, isn't it? You know.
Happy single release day.
Happy single release day.
Hey!
If Kirsty ever watches this, then no, he doesn't mean he's single today. That's not what we're celebrating. No. Although it depends on his behaviour this evening.
Maybe singly released. But yes.
Yeah, man, you've got a single out, isn't it?
I do. It's currently sitting at 5,963 in the UK singles charts.
That high. I would be surprised if it was that high.
Of all the tracks released today.
Oh, I see. On that particular minute.
Yeah, on that particular minute. There's a lot of songs.
Of all the tracks beginning with the letter E.
There's a lot of good songs out there.
There's a lot of songs out there, is what there is.
There is.
There, let's face it. It is a wash. And we were talking about it before, like we came on. Like, it is absolutely freaking a wash with people releasing stuff all the time.
Yeah, well, I think I've read somewhere that there's like 200,000 songs uploaded to Spotify a day.
A day?
Every single day.
That can't be right.
I believe so.
I have to fact check that. Jesus Christ, a lot of it is absolute and total dross, so I'll give you that.
Well, there is acoustic official video, acoustic version, acoustic string section version, and people milk it. No, not on my album.
No string sections.
I tried.
We'll get back to that later on. We'll talk about that later on. Away with the Angels says Happy Singles Day. Whoop whoop. Well, thank you. Away with the Angels. Yes, this Happy Singles Day.
Thanks for tuning in. Away with the Angels. Give us more of that.
No, happy single day, and that album for me next week.
Indeed.
So, you have actually a whole album, don't you?
I do, but I've decided to string people along with it.
Go old school. What's the thinking behind single? Because I've heard various marketing things these days. Old school, not even my day, because I never had one album back in the day. But I guess 80s, 90s, 70s, you would release a string of singles and then release the album. These days, I hear it's all about only release singles. Don't bother doing an album. You've decided to go old school, which I love, but it just seems like a lot of work on the promo front to me.
I just love albums.
Yeah.
And I feel that releasing singles nowadays is the way to go. Like everyone just drops singles.
Yeah.
But no one releases an album until they've got that momentum, as they call it, to get the album. But I'm we're all going to get bombed by Putin next year. Don't
come on here and spread fear and despondency.
Sorry.
Because you'll be at the front line anyway, and I won't, because I've got asthma.
Oh, this is true. This is true. I can serenade the Russians into surrender. But yeah, no, I'm living and dying by the sword. I love albums, so I want to make an album.
But why release singles from it instead of just doing the whole album and chucking it out there?
Because I did an EP a few years ago, and I released it.
It was a Borderlines.
It was the Borderlines EP.
It wasn't the Madonna cover, was it, on there?
No, there wasn't a Madonna cover. There was a song called Holidays in the Sun.
Oh, it's a cheeky video on your YouTube channel, isn't there?
Yeah.
Go and check it out, people. It's awesome.
Holidays in the Sun. You get to see me topless diving in water. Ben Hampton says, I was told there would be hot singles here.
I don't think you were, Ben. And I'm not sure, yes. But no, there is. Sorry, there isn't. Only a fat middle-aged man and a slightly chubby younger man. And I'm afraid that's all there is.
Working on it.
Not even hot, not even single. Sorry, dude. So, yeah.
Check out Paul's OnlyFans for that.
Paul's Only Fan. Check out Paul's OnlyFans.
That's going to be a good line. That's going to be a good line in a song.
It is, yeah, totally.
You got your OnlyFans for your OnlyFans.
For your OnlyFans, yeah.
But yeah, the EP with the wonderful Ollie Jarvis.
Yes, your first EP, yeah. So how long ago are we talking with that? When was that?
Oh, that was recorded in 2019.
All the way back in 2019.
Back in my youth.
You were a slip of a wee lad at what, 19, 20?
Something like that.
Yeah, good Lord.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
I got T-shirts older than that.
Well, I hope they lasted longer than my EP did in the charts.
So yeah, what happened with the EP then?
Well, just you've probably had that with your first release. You just release it and you expect something to happen, and it's kind of like no promotion. It's like the songs will make it. It'll get found. Well, whatever happens.
Get that a rather interesting text from you this morning about when I said happy release day. He said it just feels a bit weird, a bit like expecting something to happen, but nothing's happened. Yeah. But kind of like, I don't know. How would you describe it?
It's an odd feeling. It's kind of like you've nothing's changed yet. You've finished what you're doing, and it's kind of like a bit of an emptiness.
Because it was a long road for that album, wasn't it? From previous conversations we've had.
Oh yeah. Well, ever since I'd never really stopped since 2020 when the EP came out. So that came out, and then afterwards I released a video for Holidays in the Sun, and it was kind of like an afterthought.
Yeah,
I wanted the music released. I wanted the music out there. You know, I still think a lot of the songwriting on it is quite good. There's a couple of songs on there that I like a lot, and it was just like, if I'm going to do it again, I'm going to go to the extent of it. I want to sit back and say, well, I did everything I did to kind of do it properly, and I got the whole experience of releasing music.
Okay.
So if I never release any music after this, which I may not do, I don't know. I'm not thinking...
do every gig and every record like it's your last.
Yeah, exactly.
This was my old music teachers used to tell me, the guys around the harmonica band used to say, you got to play every gig like it's your last one.
Yeah.
Now, that's kind of exhausting, and, it depends what your stage persona is. But there is something in that to a degree, isn't there? Like, you want it to be a testament to what you have, which is a lot of pressure to put yourself under yourself, though, don't you think? Like, this will have to stand. This will have to be there forever. Yes.
I'm used pressure and fear of failure is my biggest motivator, Paul. So I'll overanalyze things till the cows come home. So
do you not find that crippling, or do you not find it like, because I've met people that say they're like, for example, a perfectionist on those kind of things, and the perfectionists that I've truly met never get anything done because it won't be perfect. It just won't be.
It's an easy trap to fall into.
Yeah,
and
totally.
You always have doubts with it, but I think you just have to accept that everything that may come after you finish, it's a snapshot, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said that to me.
I did. What you said to me was, I want it to be as good as I can make it.
Yeah.
Which is, knowing your boundaries, as well as one particular moment on one of the tracks that we were recording. You said you wanted a string section. And I said, well, I don't know. Well, I do know how to do that. I just don't have the equipment.
Oh, do you?
All the time.
Let's go back and redo it.
The next album definitely does. But it's like, do I have the time? Or do I have the time? Do I have the resources to do it? So I didn't have MIDI compatible. I didn't have the time to sit there and create a string arrangement. Blah blah blah. So it was like, well, I can't do that. So you asked a couple of other bods, don't you? And it's like, well, it's got to be within your grasp with the resources of what you've got at the time. But I'm a graphic designer / art worker / artwork model / actor, graphic designer / art worker. I'm not really a graphic designer. I make artwork. I make things that people actually want to buy. But the thing is, like, you've got an amount of time to do that in. They're given an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of resources. You could come up with, I don't know, whatever, mind-blowing. But I sometimes think that limitations breed creativity.
Yeah. Well, you'd be like the Lars, where you sit in studio limbo for like 20 years or something, don't you? But yeah, I wanted a string section. I think it's when you said to me that it kind of compromises your integrity when you're doing something which basically is just above your own ability at that moment.
If you use auto-tune on your vocals, people will find out, because they'll come and see you live and realize that you're shit. Not you personally. I meant you.
Oh, no, I'm shit.
The Roy. He's not shit. Oh, Ben says true perfection has to be imperfect. I know that sounds foolish, but it's true. Some Mancunian dwarf. I don't think we're allowed to call them that anymore. But yes, thank you, Ben. Yeah, that's
from Little by Little.
Yeah, true perfection has to be imperfect. Yeah, totally, completely, because the other one can't be obtained, and who wants that? For God's sake, we just ask AI to do it, and I think that will be AI's downfall, is that it isn't human enough.
Yeah,
this is why some people still don't like electronic music, still go and see guitar bands. Apparently, there are people out there that want to go and see guitar bands. But it's why people want to see stuff made by a human rather than printed out by a computer. It's is what they want. So yeah. big change with the thing. What I was driving at really with the singles as to the album is why release 4 separate singles as opposed to just putting the full album out at once. It was more a marketing and thingy question than
and
it
a
was
vanity thing as well.
A vanity.
Well, you chuck a whole album out, and you say, what's your favorite song? And then someone says that, and then a week later, everyone's forgotten about it.
Okay.
You pop a single out, you get a little bit talking about it.
Yeah.
It kind of becomes a longer journey, and people can see you grow, and the songs have time to breathe.
Yeah.
And then you put the album out, which has all the songs that you've heard, so people can listen to them again. And then it has a few other songs that probably wouldn't be very singly, but they fit nicely and kind of pad the time out and give you something a little bit different.
Yeah, I see that.
You said to me, there's a lot of variance in the album.
There is. It's very eclectic.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you could say, oh, it's a rock album, or you know, it's a pop album. There's all sorts in there. There's a little bit of I don't know. It's almost like a sea shanty style number.
Indeed.
Isn't there? Mind of a procrastinating individual.
Indeed, yeah. Paul described expression today as adult contemporary.
Adult contemporary.
I know.
Who said that?
Ben Hampton, aka
Hampton,
This Scene's Not Dead.
Yes, This Scene's Not Dead. Yeah, excellent review.
It was very nice. Thank you, Ben. Your check's in the post. But basically, I wanted to put a song out. I wanted to put another song out, and then I wanted to build up to an album.
Was that a marketing thing? Is to keep interest in things to make sure you?
It makes my life a hell of a lot easier in promoting an album if I'm basically teasing people with it.
I see. Yes.
Again and again,
sticking the tip in.
Yeah.
And saying no, not tonight, Josephine.
I'm sure Josephine wouldn't wait that long for that experience.
Oh,
whoever she may be, poor soul, or he.
Napoleon's missus. No, not tonight, Josephine. No, I don't.
Oh no, anyway. I've not done that.
Oh,
no.
You said you're a history buff. That's all. Well, oh no, it was just the war, just like a bit of war. Well, there's a good one coming up that you might be interested.
Well, there you go.
No,
can't wait for that to be history too. So yeah, the album Scirocco Moments.
Yes.
Called. It was supposed to be coming in the post today. They promised me, but it never turned up. I was gonna the CDs.
Oh, you've sent them off.
Oh
my god!
They were due to come on DPD today, but it's a 24-hour. They didn't send it till 4 this afternoon.
Bastards! So they got you on that one.
I was going to hand it to you whilst we're on live and get your reaction.
That would have been so cool. I love having like session work and stuff I've done. I've read on CD. It's lovely fucking DPD. Bunch of bastards. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm glad you got that sorted. That's lush. Lovely jubbly.
It's coming. There's a nice little thank you in the liner notes for you.
Oh, bless you, mate.
It says, thank you, Paul Gillings. Grumpy old twat.
Yeah, even advertised this bloody live stream as grumpy. That was
definitely not
a bit. You wait till you've been through what I've been through. You'd be fucking miserable as well.
Speaking what you've been through though.
Yeah. I heard you prepared some questions for me about my experience with you.
Well, yes, I feel like this is a nice segue. You'd say it was quite a journey, and your new album, which is out next week, is called Journeyman.
So should we stick to talking about your album for a bit then, instead of before you start asking me about mine, which I don't really want to talk about anyway. So what were the questions you were going to ask me about my experience with your album?
Yeah, so just to start off with, how did you get involved in it?
I don't really know. I think I just saw the desperate look in a child's eyes and thought, poor tiny Tim, I only got coal for Christmas. There's me with all these accolades, albums and awards and
pity, basically.
Yeah.
To sum it up.
It was a charity. It's a charity shag.
Wow. I was the last girl left at the nightclub.
You were my 3 o'clocker.
All of her friends had gone home with the football
we're not
team.
doing this. It's fairly misogynistic.
Wow.
Good Lord. You're not on the butcher shop floor now, mate. Bloody hell.
You're talking
why did I get involved anyway? I think you kept asking me for help. And you asked my opinion on your tracks, which for some people I used to get asked a fair bit before I was trying to retire from music really last year, and I had the end of a couple of projects. I was helping Darren with his track Gemini, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's got an album coming out soon as well. Auction the Mickey Mouse Award? Absolutely never. And how do you know about my Mickey Mouse Award? Keep it to yourself. No, never. No, that's actually being buried with me. It's in my will. Yeah. So how did I get involved with your album? I think like you just kept asking me for help, and I was like, I've kind of retired, but yeah, let's have a listen. So you said, what do you think to this? And I was unfortunately for me, honest, as I always am with people when people try to send me stuff, because I find that like somebody, if I don't like somebody, I'll just say, yeah, man, it's great, and that'll be the end of it. Or sometimes I'll mean that, but it's only for me to do this little mind game I play. But most of the time, I'll either not answer or be honest, and then I'll never hear from them again. So if I'll say, "Well, mate, you really want? I don't really agree with the way that's recorded, and your singing's a bit flat on that second chorus, and your bends are out of tune, and this that, and the other." And I sometimes never hear from people again after that.
And I just kept coming back.
Yeah. And because I'm a fairly resourceful guy. I've been around for a while, and I've done a lot of stuff, so I can do. And been through all aspects of the music industry. And you look like you needed help. And I want to help. I'm a massive socialist, unfortunately, which will see everyone leave the live stream whatsoever. Both of them will leave now because socialism isn't everyone's thing. But, it doesn't always work in the way it's intended. But for me, I like to help people give a start. I was given a lot of help as a young musician, a very young musician. And I want to pay it forwards for people. And you look like you needed help. You didn't know how the digital recording world worked. You didn't know how artwork worked or any of those things really. So I was like, okay, well, I'll give you help. And then we got more and more involved until you're round my house re-recording the vocals because you'd over-recorded them on that SM58 or whatever it is, that really bad microphone, and screeched them into your iPad.
Still gives me nightmares.
I was like, no, stop. No, you're going to have to come around and sing into an actual microphone. And actually, had you thought about getting them mastered with a proper studio? And
because I was just going to produce them myself.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, it'll be fine.
And to be quite honest, it's a great thing if you can, but it's not quite as easy. I think home recording is a fucking million miles away from where it used to be. Back in my day, but it's still not. There's still a masterful skill to that mixing and mastering. It's still an absolute massive skill, and I'm getting there. But I could get you at least up to that, and then advise past it.
Sure.
So I could get you so at least we're recording it nicely. We can then send it off because you're not even recording it well at the time. It was like, but there was something. You had really nice songs, and it's really nice songs, and. It was a really lovely voice, and I thought that would be a shame if he didn't get to get this stuff out there just with me being able to help, giving up nothing but my time. So I just wanted to help you, and well, you seemed like a nice bloke. I kind of liked you. It was all right.
Thank you much. Is that famous last words?
Being a massive socialist, how was it working with Darren Thatcher Lewis? That's a bit mean. That's a bit mean. Darren is a socialist. The only person that doesn't know it is him.
Okay.
And his reasons for his as I won't disclose his photo record are his own personal ones, and so I can see why he does it. Yeah, he's still fairly young. There's plenty of time to turn Darren into voting the way he behaves like a socialist. So, that's all that matters as far as I'm concerned. Ben, sorry, answering comments from Mr. Hampton there.
I'll release Ben. Back off.
Leave him alone so he likes. Oh, Ben. So you have other question. Go on in.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say thank you for all the time that you put in. Like just teaching me, let your chords ring out at the end of a recording. Don't just hit stop and take your hand off them. It sounds like a robot. Make sure your bends are in tune and your guitar is in tune. Make sure you falsetto softly, not scream it at the top of your lung and you sound like a weasel.
This, I guess, was my point. Like, I think a lot of young artists, and I not spoke to all of them, but I watch a lot of TikToks as active on social media. I watch a lot of stuff of young artists, and they seem to be obsessed with, for example, the equivalent of wanting strings on a track, when the very basics of their guitar isn't in tune, or their vocals aren't in tune,
Sure.
or so the very what I would call the basics. They've got lost on. How am I going to look on the stage at Wembley Stadium? How am I going to look in this video that's going to go viral? Not can I actually play in tune?
It's a big one.
It is. It's to me, it's a fundamental. It doesn't. I can see how it doesn't seem to matter, or it wouldn't like necessarily matter. But to me, it totally matters. Oh, Ben says I love Darren, and he knows I'll take the piss out of him for life. We all love Darren. He's cracking, and I can't wait to hear his new album. He's been recording with Isaac. To be quite honest, that's going to be fabulous. Yeah. Cracking. Yeah, cool.
Darren, get it out. Don't be a tease like me. But yeah. Well, the next one was what made you want to do the project, but I guess you've kind of explained that a little bit. Basically, I was a charity shag, as you say. You know, we quite. I think we clicked from when we got together, because I think it was very easy going, the whole process. I found anyway. You weren't afraid to call a spade, and I definitely I need that a lot of the time.
Did you find it refreshing, or did I remind you of your dad? Or...
he's the sort of guy that would call people spades. Needs media training.
Dear. Yes, that's not very nice. Okay.
So how did you find being overseer to my project?
Do you feel I was overseeing it?
Well, as opposed to not like an overseer, but it wasn't your creative vision. At the end of the day, you had to say a lot of times, "All right, dude, it's your album."
Well, the thing is, like in my day job that I've been doing for, as long as you've been alive, actually, 26 years. As a creative art worker / graphic designer, you're given briefs. You're not like underpants. It'd be a shame, wouldn't it, if you weren't given underpants. But you're given a design brief. You said, like, make this look like this. This is my book, magazine, poster, whatever it is. I need it to look like that. But I want your creative flair. I want you to make it all sparkly. So you do. And they go, not like that. No, that's not my vision. This is something other. And to start with, early in my career, used to go, well, fuck you, man. I spent hours on that. You're taking the piss, aren't you? What the fuck? I'm not your fucking... get all, at me tree about it.
Oh, wow.
Then I realised that these people were paying my wage. And actually, it's not only that, which was the big one for me to start with, but it's their vision. And I'm helping them, create their dream, their vision. I'm helping them do that rather than creating mine. If I wanted to create mine, why don't I just get up and do it? So hence I started creating my own albums, started doing my own, everything, that I do for my, because I find these days with being an artist, independent artist, you've got to do everything. You've got to do your own artwork. You've got to do your own recording. You've got to find your own mixing and master. You've got to promote your own gigs, do your own live stream, blah, 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 blah. So like, I think it's got to be like that, really. And I think that, I was like, I removed my ego and said, this isn't about me. This is about you. And let's help you make this the best that you want it to be.
Yeah, that's really
Or
great.
that I can help you to be.
It's really interesting. So it was a case of you had to kind of put yourself in a different pair of shoes.
Yeah, it weren't about me. But, I'm used to that with my life.
What was the hardest part about it?
The hardest part? I guess it's difficult. I hate saying no. And it's difficult saying no. Especially when you've done so much. And I felt there was a couple of points where I felt like I'd done a bunch of stuff in a row. And you were like, oh, yeah, what about this? Because as it's your baby, as it's in your head, it's all consuming, these projects, aren't they? They're completely all consuming.
Drove me mad.
Yeah. So it's all you think about. It's all you want to do. It's like you wake up under the lights. So, it's like, so yeah, that's what happens.
This is why you don't move the microphone.
Yeah, if you just
No, it's fine. I've got it. It's there. Oh,
there we go. Sorry, people, for the noise. Okay, so where was I? Anyway, you broke the mic, so fuck you. We had a question. Away with Angels. It sounds hard to be a musician. A lot of work for not much reward. So why do you do it? Well, yeah. Why do we do it? Do you want to?
It's very easy. We just make it sound difficult for sympathy likes. You sit there, you moan about nobody's listening to my song. Then you put it out, and then everyone goes, "Oh, I'll listen to your song." honestly.
He's not far wrong. He's not far wrong. Why do I do it? I don't know. It's like breathing. I can't just not do it anymore. I don't know about you, but I tried to stop. I can't. I just will do it. I just will reach for the guitar. I will just reach for the harmonica. I will just go to a gig. I will just try and get in a band. I can't stop.
Yeah, it's a compulsion, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like breathing now. I don't know if I've been doing it for so long, but I've always been like it. Even before the harmonica, I was always like in the school choir or, trying to learn to play an instrument or do something.
I think it's connection to people. I think if you're sitting at home and you're not.
Oh, that was a byproduct for me. I could literally and have spent most of my musical life sat in a room with my instrument, giggity, by myself, playing over and over and over.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because I suppose you've got sitting there just obsessively practicing over.
I mean, it became about meeting people, and that's been, to be quite honest, the best part of it. Yeah. It's so rewarding making these friends, making like friends like Mr. Hampton, and all these connections. Yeah, that is awesome. That is truly awesome.
It's difficult. I don't know. It's kind of like it's like an obsession, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to get that line in that song that is not right, so you just keep coming back to it, and it's like it's not quite there.
It's like an itch you can't scratch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels so good when you're in it, and then you're on to the next thing.
Ben says Paul's too good to not do it. Bless you, Ben. Love you.
Not me though. Not me though.
Plenty of time for you.
Oh, this is true.
Talking about me. Shush. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's you have to. It's a great thing to do, though.
Yeah,
you're actually expressing a part of yourself, which you might not be able to do. I'm talking about expressing. That was a good plug. Listen to my Zoo single. Expression,
well, we can play it if you like. Should we put the video on?
Oh, go on then. I'll figure out what I'm going to actually say now.
Let's see, because I think we have to. I think you have to do this, and then it just starts there. Here we go.
When you feel like you are falling, and gravity won't stop pulling, know the good things are coming your way. Even though it all looks so great, when the day is slowly taking, it's time to watch you cave in. Just remember the words that say, you don't have to feel that way. Just know you're not alone. There's a riverbed of sunken stones. It's time to be heard. There's a message spread all around the world. Expression, learn to accept yourself. No question, don't put your needs on the shelf. Yeah, life's unfair, so don't care and be bold. And tonight, live your life with your heart and soul. When the punches you take are pounding, and you feel like you are drowning, 'cause the tide is broken through, know there's someone there watching you. When giving up seems better than trying, and you can't see the silver lining, when the pain cuts you like a knife, though it feels like the end of your life, just know you're not by yourself, but together the hope is held. It's time to be heard. There's a message to spread all around the world. Expression, learning to accept yourself. No question, to put your needs on the shelf. Yeah, life's unfair, so don't care and be bold. And tonight, live your life with your heart and soul. Expression, learning to accept yourself. No question, to put your needs on the shelf. Yeah, life's unfair, so don't care and be bold. And tonight, live your life with your heart and soul. When you find your peace of mind, you realize you never were blind. If you can't stop second guessing, just know this life could be a blessing, yeah. learning to accept yourself. No question, don't put your needs on the shelf. Yeah, life's unfair, so don't care and be bold. And tonight, live your life with your heart and soul. Expression, learn to accept yourself. No question, don't put your needs on the shelf. Yeah, life's unfair, so don't care and be bold. And tonight, live your life with your heart and soul. Expression, no question. Yeah, life's unfair, so don't care and be bold. And tonight, live your life with your heart and soul.
We're still here.
And that was Jack Wiley with Whispering Bob Harris. Yeah. You don't know who he is, do you?
What's that?
Whispering Bob Harris.
I don't know.
Oh.
He sounds like he's got a voice that would turn me on, though.
Was it you that I had to explain what the old grey whistle test was?
You did. That's how we picked Expression as the first single.
Good Lord. So, yes. No, I just loved it. I mean, I thought it's just a beautiful, beautiful, like, and I think it's got a hook. I think it's got a great, I don't know, I think it's really modern. I think I like it.
I think
contemporary.
I think the sound contemporary, what was it? Adult contemporary.
Adult
Ben,
contemporary.
Ben Hampton calls it.
Yes.
But yeah, it was the song on there which was a bit of an outlier, and I think it was a late addition.
Mhm.
And I hear that a lot about albums, that the lead single is normally, like, you've heard, the record label tell the artist to go away and write a hit, and then they go away and then they write this, and it becomes the biggest hit of their career. Well, so this is the biggest hit of my career so far.
So far. Love the optimism. Tell me about the video.
The video, well, 'twas a cold winter's morning in Lowestoft.
It certainly was.
And I headed out to Paul's house about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we wanted to catch the sunrise.
We did, and its sun did not rise because it was miserable and bloody freezing. So we persevered anyway with good British spirit.
Pissing it down as well.
Yeah, a little bit, wasn't it? I mean, it was so freaking cold at Ness Point. I just wanted to make something that was quintessentially Lowestoft. I don't mean like, videos of like
just like me,
crack and stuff like that. I just want something that was. We are the most easterly town. I'm very proud of where I live, like genuinely, and I just wanted to have something that was there, like, and pick. And I just saw you walking through the Nest, which is this lovely space that I think my friend Joe Leverett was involved in getting up and running and stuff like that. It's just a lovely space, and I thought, we could put that, just put it out there. Just the more videos, the more stuff that place, and the more things that are associated with it, like the First Light Festival, and all the great music and culture that's associated with this town. Your song associated with this town, associated with this place. The more stuff associated with our area of the world.
Yeah, it's great.
People think we're uncultured, Neanderthal backwater swines, and we're really not, as Lowestoft Live, big up Lowestoft Live, are helping to prove that we're not. This is a place of culture, and the work with like I say, the First Light Festival, quite wonderful things.
Yeah,
this is a place of culture. This is a place of
really some people who are trying to promote that round here.
That's where
there's not a lot of
isn't
opportunities for young people.
Well, not just young people, just anybody with any culture. I feel I don't necessarily feel its own. I mean, culture is I think historically driven by youth, but I think culture is something that these, especially as we have an aging population, and being nearly 50 years old, I don't feel I have anything less to offer than someone who's 16 or 17.
Don't like a day over 48.
Well, also I could live for another 40 years, so
God forbid.
I forgot totally where I was going with that.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
No, please do. It's brilliant. Stops me rambling on for hours.
Sure. Well, I think you're right. The cultural side of it, there's a lot of towns where there's pubs which have cover bands on, and
still good, still culture, still actual real music.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or DJ or something, and it's like an actual event. And I definitely felt that when I met you last January when we were promoting you did the launch party for Spectacular Man.
Fantastic album. Fantastic album.
Great.
Very, very proud of that, and the amount of harmonica that Isaac let me and indulged me with and wrote around it for me as well. I'm very proud of that, not just as a monumental work of art from his point of view, but from like, as the harmonica as an instrument, I don't always feel has been taken very seriously. And I feel that was a super serious and very integral part of the album. And I'm well pleased with it. It's one of the most, next to the stuff I've done with Danny R, I think that's, one of the most, significant things I've done.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the stuff I've done with Danny R is easily. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate.
Not the Jack Wiley album, which is the
sorry, dude.
Most recent. No,
it is the most recent. No, sorry, Danny.
Do I come third after Spectacular Man, or does Nexus fit in there?
Hey, if you ain't first, you're last.
I'd like to come back to that actually, but should we finish talking about this video?
Yes.
Whatnot?
Sorry. Yes.
So we shot a load at Nest Point. It was freezing cold. You basically got me to do loads of silly stuff for.
And then some silly stuff you did of your own accord.
Yeah, well, you know me. Point a camera and I'm dancing. So we kind of threw it. Well, you kind of said stand over there. You didn't really give an awful lot of direction. We just picked cool places for me to play the song.
And play the song. And I said, don't look at the camera too much.
And I tried to be reasonably entertaining.
Cool.
I think I jumped off the little stage.
Yeah, I didn't put that bit in.
Did you not?
No, I didn't. No, it didn't happen. There was a better shot at the point in the music that happened, so I used that instead.
Sure.
I mean, I've done very few of these things, and it was all shot on like iPhones, which I thought was hilarious. Like because it's good quality, isn't it?
Cinematic mode or whatever.
It's great.
That shot where you go around the front of me playing on the car, like honestly, that was like that's. It
so
like
it's
a
depth
movie.
to those things.
It's ridiculous,
and that's not even the best version of the iPhone. There's like apparently one with 3 cameras in it that's even better than that.
It's ridiculous how good that footage was, but it was really fun. We did it in a couple of hours, something like that.
Yeah.
You shot it, you put it together. I done a little behind the scenes video, which will be coming out soon.
You've done that?
Did you watch it?
I've watched what I've said. I'll put what's in the one you put up on TikTok.
That dogging.
Yes.
Yeah. We met.
So we turned up at like Nest Point, most of these 3 point. It was still dark at that point. So we were hoping to catch the sunrise, but it was super overcast. So we just sat in the car waiting until it was light enough to film. And there was a taxi behind us, wasn't there? Like out the window.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh, hello, we're not the only ones here." It was like 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. Yeah, we're not the only ones here. What's he doing? And I just instinctively, not even thought, said, "Jogging."
Dogging. Shows where your mind goes to.
Shows where I've been. No. No, I don't like dogs. Yeah. So there you go. that was the video.
It's not what I've been told.
It was fun, but the thing is, with like again being an independent artist, got to make a fucking video. Why have I got to make a fucking video? But it was good for me because I've learned a lot about video production. I've been learning to use Adobe Premiere, which I've managed to get, through work, get a subscription to. But
Have you got on with that?
So, your video was the first video I've ever made in Adobe Premiere.
But was it nice and smooth, or were you sitting there going, "Fuck this"?
No, I don't. I don't tend to get an order. I have a really high threshold for those kind of things. If I'm learning something, I have a pretty high threshold.
You're very good at learning new things, actually.
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, I have never ever actually gotten angry with a guitar because I couldn't do something. The harmonica, however, got fucking thrown across the room, stomped on. Just the anger, just because I couldn't get a bit of what to get. But I've never got there with a guitar because I guess I went through it with the harmonica, so I know. Keep going, mate. There's a bit past this. There's a bit past this that will happen, and it'll all come together.
Is that why you only had 8 harmonicas when I saw you at the Louis? Because you'd smashed the other 4 up.
No, those were the ones I needed for those particular songs.
Okay. You tell yourself that.
I can't afford to smash up because I used to get them for nothing back then.
Did you?
Yeah, but I don't anymore. Well, I say that I've got a
He's seeking representation.
No, I do. I am sponsored by. I am endorsed, aren't I, by Sadle Harmonicas.
Oh yes, you are.
I'm a Sadle endorsee, and they've sent me because they do a very special, lovely tuning. That one of the tracks off of my new album, Segway. But one of the tracks of my new album is played on a particular style of tuning that up until a few years back, only one brand would do. Leos Harmonicas made the harmonic minor tuning, and not very many others did. And Sadle, my company, make this harmonic minor tuning, and it's fabulous. It's a great harmonica and a great tuning. So I'm going to be doing a video showing what harmonic minor tuning is all about, and they're sending me one to include in the video, which is cool.
So,
and then they're going to post it on the YouTube channel, which is fabulous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't it? Yeah.
You're going to be the poster boy.
Check me out. I bet Gibson's not sending you any fucking guitars, are they?
No, just Epiphone.
Epiphone, you should fucking wish.
So this harmonica, then, would you say harmonic minor tuning?
Yes, yeah.
So it's minors in harmonics. I know that's a theory thing. Explain to me what makes this the best harmonica.
It's not the best harmonica. There is no such thing. Okay. There is only a preference. Like, what's the best guitar? There's no best guitar. It's a preference.
Fender Telecaster.
So, in your preference, my friend Mr. Danny R can't bear them.
Well,
I'm sure there's a guitar I can't bear. Is there one? I can't think. It's all a bit new to me and a bit shiny, a bit kind of like, guitars.
You ever owned a Stag guitar?
The Stag?
Yeah.
What's that?
They're like cheap
Oh,
straps.
No, I've got like gig bags made by Stag. Do they make guitars as well?
Well,
are they as good as their gig
bags? My only experience is I went to pick up a Stag guitar, which was £50, included an amp. And it was the first guitar I ever owned from a lady's house. And I went round. She had 3 dogs that were very big and very angry. Her carpets were torn up.
Is this significant to the state of the guitar?
She was clearly off her face on a few illicit substances. And I probably thought I was going to die a few times when I was in there. She gave me this left-handed Stag guitar. And
because you're a lefty, aren't you?
I am.
So finding a left-handed guitar in Yarmouth or Lingwood, where you grew up, finding a left-handed guitar in Norfolk. We make them for people with 6 fingers, but not left-handed ones. We kill them buggers. What does Ben say? Ben says, Ben says, I think because you want to and because it is fun and it seemed to offer justifiable reasons to make a video, even if it isn't an essential part of promoting a grassroots tune. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, those are all reasons to do
music in general.
Well, yeah. I was going to say anything, but it seemed a laugh is not really a good reason for murder.
Unless it's consensual.
Consensual murder.
Well, there's a guy who allowed himself to be eaten.
Train ticket to Switzerland for one. No, I shouldn't joke about euthanasia. So yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, for making a video. Sorry, I twisted it. Even if it isn't an essential part of promoting grassroots. No, absolutely, mate. You're right. I mean, let's face it, right? Making stuff and being creative is either something you do or you don't. I bet the best quote ever. I started doing some writing at once and started like putting down my memoirs at the time I was in the harmonica band for I don't know who to read, maybe my grandchildren because my kids don't care. So so my grandchildren read. So I thought like, oh, they do, they're lovely. And I thought, well, who's going to read it? So then I started like writing. It's like, you know, how do you be a writer for a living? And you start thinking about it. And the best quote I ever read, and I've applied it to everything in my life. Don't be a writer, be writing. Yeah. So don't be a recording artist, just be recording. Don't be a musician, just play music. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, because I guess if you have the expectation, I am a musician.
Yes, that's right.
You're not a musician if you're not making music. Or you're not playing music.
Well, up until fairly recently, I didn't think I was and this is going to sound absolutely fucking insane, but I didn't honestly think I was a creative individual.
Yeah, I remember you saying this to me.
But I've been an art worker and a graphic designer for 26 years and been a musician since I was 11. Yeah. So how can I say, I don't think I'm very creative? Yeah. I've been making stuff for donkey's years.
What made the change then? How did this all come about?
Because I thought that being a creative type involved a certain lifestyle, personality, and social status, which I didn't have. So I thought perhaps I'm not in that gang. I'm not part of that. And what I didn't realize, it's not a gang. It's not a social status. It's not a, set of rules to live your life by. It's just something that you do.
Yeah.
It's something you are.
It's a part of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And accepting that has been, kind of like difficult because you don't want to feel arrogant. You don't want to feel like full of yourself and shit like that. But at the same time, it's not being full of yourself. It's just, I made that.
Yeah.
So good, bad, or indifferent. So I made it and I stand by it.
Yeah.
There it is.
So you had a lot of imposter syndrome then?
Oh God. Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, as musicians, we generally do.
I think if you worth your salt. But if even, again, that applies to a lot of stuff. Being a parent, if you think you're a good parent, you're probably fucking not.
Take that.
Ben says imposter syndrome is horrible, isn't it? Yes, I sometimes think I'm Ben Hampton.
I was speaking was speaking to Kirsty. Yeah,
Kirsty, your better half.
Yeah, my better half. I was saying I'd be a crap parent. She's like, "Why do you think you'd be a crap parent?" I was just like, "I would be." She's like, "Well, the fact that you worry that you would be,
there you go,
makes you not going to be a crap parent."
Absolutely, and she should know, psychiatrist that she's training to be.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be terrifying for your children. Who would they?
I'm the pushover. I'll give out all
Dad's
the
always
sweets.
are. I totally am. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So, but I think
I am where the girl is concerned, not so much the boy really, but the girl definitely. Yeah,
she's lovely though.
Yeah, she's a good kid. She'll do. Yeah. So anyway, she'll have to do. I can't have any more. So anyway,
could adopt Ben Hampton.
I would
teach him right from wrong.
Ben Hampton, he knows right from wrong.
Turn him into a proper artist.
I think I could learn about right from wrong from Ben Hampton, not the other way around. To be quite honest, bloody hell.
I've lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, let's get back to talking about our music and why we're here. So, your album, your single Expression, we've seen it, we've heard it. It's wonderful. I love it. We had good fun making the video, didn't we?
Yeah,
whether it gets 1 million views or not, we don't give a flying fuck. But yeah,
or 1/1,000,000 of a million, which is one.
I think it's had that already. Eh?
Quick maths.
Yes,
but yeah, no. Going back to what I said earlier about you had a bit of an awakening with this whole album. I make it sound like an existential crisis. I don't know. I'd love to know how Journeyman came about, because when we started talking, you were kind of done with it.
That's right, really. I was. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I've met. You're not the first musician I've met, because I know that other guys do have a bunch of songs either in the back pocket or on a hard drive or somewhere that they haven't finished. Or they have finished, they just think maybe it's not good enough, or or they've made an album and that one gets left off. So I've done 4 albums, 3 EPs, and 2 singles now, and I was like, you got me doing this stuff for you. And I thought, well, I'm not releasing anything this year. And this will be the first year I haven't released anything since 2018.
Really?
When I got back into recording and original music, and when I got back into writing songs and releasing stuff.
Sure.
And it was like, so this will be the first year I haven't released anything. So, I kind of want to release something. I want to do.
It's that itch again, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to do something. But I can't be nuts to write songs. There was no inspiration coming forward. I had no pain to write about. My life is quite nice at the moment.
Yeah.
I have a good job for the first time in fucking 30 years. I really do like this job I'm in. My family is going well, and, it's all right, made some wonderful new friends through Last Off Live and the harmonica scene. Met yourself, met Mr. Danny R, and produced some superb music. Has had a great time. Made some great friends with Ben and Hampton and everybody else, and Darren, helped Darren and Isaac, and everybody had this wonderful time. And it's like, well, what am I doing? What have I got to write about? What have I got to write about? What have I got to do? I've always got old pain to draw on, but then I looked from my hard drive and went, well, actually, why do I have to go through all that effort of doing all that stuff? I've got enough songs here, and I had about 15, 20 tracks, I think 20 in all, to choose from, to go that were either finished or for the sake of re-recorded the vocals or something like that, or just redoing the guitar part, tweaking the drum bit, that I could just release them. And so I thought, well, why don't I just I've been trying to teach myself the mixing and mastering. So I thought, why don't I just, instead of saving up for mixing and mastering and paying Raoul, which is wonderful, Raoul is fucking the tits. Instead of paying him, I don't have that money at the moment. What I do have is my brain and a bit of time. Although I don't have the inclination to write new songs and do all that business, I do have a bit of time.
You have the patience to crack out.
So I quit live music and stuff like that. So I thought, I've got a bit of time here. Quit live music and or been fired from certain bands who remain nameless. So I thought, well, I'll just sit here and learn how to mix and master and just put out whatever done. So there's 11 tracks, and I'm like, hey, that's an album's worth. But those ones I'm reasonably happy with, and all sound like a cohesive, not necessarily a cohesive unit, but they can be. Yeah. But what if they weren't a cohesive unit? Well, because people put out collections of songs, and where am I at to be able to do that? Well, that's not necessarily I don't know. That's not an end. That's not like an established musician's thing. And I'm not an established musician. I'm still, after all these years and everything, still on the up. So where am I at in that? Now I thought about, because the guys I used to work with in the print industry, you would have apprentice, journeyman and tradesman.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all making sense now.
Yeah. So once you've passed your apprenticeship, you become a journeyman.
Right.
But you still look up to the experts, the old guys.
What does a journeyman do?
So a journeyman is basically someone who's learned the basics of his craft and gone through all of that stuff and actually creates things and actually does stuff and creates a body of work. Danny, I'll tell you, I've been obsessed with having a body of work of stuff that I can
shows your growth,
create and do, actually do. So all that was an apprenticeship, if you like. And now this is like, okay. And then one day, once I've done a few of these, I'll get to the being the master. That's it. Yeah. Apprentice, journeyman, master.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you go back to speaking about, you mixing and mastering it, I feel to get someone else to mix or master it would probably be disingenuous of you for what you want this project to be.
In a way,
you wanted it to be no frills, just straight up Paul Gillings and his back catalogue.
Well, in a way, it's. I mean, I think no frills means different things these days because mixing and I mean, not necessarily mixing and master, but there's still AI drums. I still multi-tracked everything. So I didn't do it organically. I didn't get a band of friends.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I didn't Michael drum kit. I didn't learn.
Maybe I used the wrong word.
No, not at all. I think it means different things. I think back in the day, I think it would mean that, oh no, you rehearsed a band for months and did all that. I didn't. I taught myself these instruments. AI drums. Yeah, I mean, they do a lot for you, but there's also, as you've seen from the process of helping you with your album, AI drums. You don't just click it in and it all works.
Oh no, you have to have a knowledge of drumming and how they fit into the song.
Yeah, and also being able to manipulate the AI drums to do what you want them to do. Otherwise, they'll just fucking run riot sometimes, won't they?
Did you learn a lot from the drum programming of doing my album, which you've put into yours?
Not necessarily, because most of my songs were already done before I started working on yours.
Fully arranged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I will learn a lot about the AI
I know your
drums.
album came around really quick. Well,
I literally had it all done.
To give you some context, within the time from when we started, knocking together the final bits of our album, and when we finished, you had already said to me, from I'm not doing an album to here's the cover. I've got an album. I've got tracks. They're done. Here's the cover. It's coming out on this date. When's yours coming out? And then I'm like, what?
It's actually
we had what I thought was like a passing comment about you putting some music out.
So the cover is actually this photograph, which is from the 1960s, and it's my my wife's auntie Valerie, who passed away last year. We were very, very close to Auntie Valerie, and I haven't had many people pass away on me. It sounds insane for my age, but I've still got grandparents. So I'm not used to, and I am not like anyone who's understands grief too well. And this is the first person, or not the first person necessarily, but this one hit me really big. So that's her and her husband in their camper van on holiday. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful, and I thought, well, they're on a journey. I'm a journeyman. I love it to death. That was badly phrased. But yeah, I thought that would be a good cover. It also looks really cool. Yeah. Look at them.
And that was far better than saying it's all a journey, man. That would have been more cringe.
So good. Ben Hempton says, I'm a huge fan of Paul Gillings's body of work. I'm loving your work too, Benny boy.
Well, it's all the Botox he's afforded with those blue Peter bucks. That's what it is. I got a few questions for you regarding the album.
Journeyman.
So the Journeyman album.
Journeyman, as we know,
the Journeyman album. Obviously, we know where the title comes from.
Yeah,
and the inspiration is it's kind of a collection of songs which are a journey. I guess some are from a certain point in time.
Yeah. I mean, some of them songs date back to 2020.
Yeah,
like they were rejects from Invisible Prison. Some of them,
really,
absolutely, yeah.
Which is commercial peak Paul Gillings, as you tell.
Got played on radio too.
Ooh,
that did, yeah,
lovely.
It did,
and still gets played in a shop somewhere.
Yeah, according to my PRS stats.
Oh, yes. Lovely. That's where you get the money for the Botox. Title cover. That's really cool that you've put that in. So it's really like you've linked it to something very personal with you as well.
I think you got to. Like, I saw a very interesting interview with a guy called Daniel Bedingfield. Got to get through this. Got to get through this.
Yeah.
That guy. So he's actually an incredible songwriter and music. Yeah, and like just insane. Well, his sister Natasha is even more supremely talented and back in the charts again. Apparently, isn't she?
Really?
With Unwritten.
I know that they're quite.
Still Unwritten.
Yeah.
Is that her? Yeah, she's still back. She's back in there.
Banging tune.
Yeah, so that's her brother, and he not only did that, but he was just superb. I don't want to run away, but I can take it. That was him as well. And he said, you got to open a vein when you write your songs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing? You've got to just go right.
It's therapy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've also got in trouble. Had arguments with my good lady wife about what'd you write that in your song for? Fucking God, that's fucking. Why don't we pretend? Sorry, no one will know. No one's listening to my shit. No one's fucking listening.
It's about Ben Hampton.
No one's buying my fucking album. No one cares.
You're right, though. I think people can sniff out fakeness in music very, very quickly.
Can they? Do you think so?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Because it doesn't hit you in the right place.
It doesn't hit necessarily the right people. Some people don't get hit by music. They just like it wafts over them. Some people listen to music, and I swear it just might as well be anything washing over them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
pitiful.
Questions.
This is interesting. How have you found the process of songwriting and releasing music different as you've grown older?
As I've grown older?
Yeah.
I'm not that fucking old, you cheeky.
Well, you're on your 4th album now. How does this differ to the first, second, and third?
Well, it doesn't really. I mean, there was an interesting quote by I think it was Bono and The Edge got chipped in at the same time on this one and said, like, we're still trying to write our first album. It just keeps coming out differently.
Because they're never losing that hunger for it.
But because you do the best with what you got the resources at a time.
Sure.
So, like, which is why I said to you about yours. So my first one, I guess the first one I recorded and released commercially would be it isn't available anymore, but the one I did with my guitarist friend Neil Chalice. So I was in a band with Neil for like 10, 15 years. I was in the Harpoon Blues band.
Yeah.
And I discovered that the Mac I'd been doing recording on, I've been doing graphic design on, had this program called GarageBand.
Ooh.
And you could record. So I got like an old amp head and plugged it into the microphone socket in the back of the thing. No interface, no USB interface, none of this stuff over here that we have. No. None of your Scarlett 2i2s or any of those things or Persona things. So I just did that and like recorded me and him, like, playing acoustic guitar and me playing harmonica over it.
Playing live, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, so he sat in the room and sat in here and I was quiet and then he went away and I played harmonica over it. So it was good separation. So we had the vocals, harmonica thing as separates, but I didn't know how to mix it and it was incredibly quiet. I think it's available on my what's it called? Bandcamp page, actually. I think I've put it up on there.
Not the first album that you did. Is this pre that?
Oh, you're talking about you don't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you don't even know it's the same because then I fell out with Neil and the whole thing, and I could barely play 3 chords of blues on acoustic guitar and play the harmonica. So I thought, well, that's what I can do. That's what I'll do. I don't have the knowledge or the talent to play anything else. I didn't have a bass guitar. I didn't have an electric guitar. I didn't have access to any sort of drum machine, nor did they have the AI drummer and things. So I was like, okay, well, I've got an acoustic guitar and I've got harmonicas and a microphone. So I bought, if you look down there, there's a gold topped microphone.
Oh, you have shown me this.
Yeah. That's a strap. There's a microphone with a gold head on it. And I bought that from wish.com for £25.
And that's what you recorded, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was tinny as fuck.
It added to the sound.
So then I looked about and I kept listening to it and then listening to regular albums going, my album is ever so quiet when I do the export out of GarageBand. Why is it so fucking quiet? So I started Googling that and found out there's a thing called mastering that you need doing. So then I Googled local mastering engineers, recording studios. Blaze Studios. Hello, Mr. Blaze Studios.
Enter Raoul.
my name's Raoul. I know of you, mate. I've seen you on around the scene. I'm in a band called Floating Greyhounds, blah, blah, blah. Ever so struck it off right. I said, well, I've got these tracks. How can you make them so that they're up in volume? Well, I need you to do it. He instructed me on how to export them, what he needed.
Yeah.
Sent them to him. So basically, it was a complete massive learning curve of what can I do? What am I able to do? What can I get someone to help me to do? And that was that. And then it was like, how do I get this on Spotify? Well, I'd used CD Baby the first time round with mine, and then Okay. So then I was like, okay,
how was that experience?
Fuck, piece of shit. So it's like, how do I get this better? And also, right, I am registered with the PRS because some of my tunes came out in a harmonica tuition book in the 90s, like years ago. So I've got stuff registered with the PRS. How do I renew my PRS membership? Get these managed? Then I found out like there was things you could do, like if you register them with those people, then you can get like publishing deals, and they can forward them for like advert ideas and shit like that. So yeah, just like started thinking, well, this is great.
There's all these avenues you'd never had.
And then like upgraded my Mac and found out about the virtual drummer. So so Invisible Prison, I wanted to do an electric blues album. So my mate lent me his electric guitar. And what I'd planned to do, which is there's 1 or 2 tracks. I think there's 2 tracks on You Don't Even Know, that first album, that have bass on them. And one is an acoustic guitar that I down-tuned in GarageBand by
an octave.
Yeah. And the next one, I borrowed my very good friend Chris Garrett's acoustic bass guitar and played that on another one.
Right.
So I thought I need a real bass for the next one if I'm going to do it. So my mate Paul lent me his PRS electric guitar, which I couldn't fucking play. And then my wife bought me a bass off of eBay for 50 quid. There she is. And that did all the bass lines. And actually did one on your album as well.
Is it?
yeah. 50 quid. Oh, well, we've got a comment. Away with Angel. Is it harder to do happier songs, as he said about not having enough pain at the moment? Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, happy. I could do happier songs. No, I can't.
Working with me has caused him enough pain to write another album's worth.
I find it difficult being happy at the best of times. My default mode is misery and grumpy and moan. I don't know.
It's comfort in misery.
It feels a bit cheesy doing happy songs. It feels like a bit like it feels a bit like I join McFly or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't
shoot myself in the face.
They were very good at the UEA a few months ago.
Oh God!
You're not
if you listen to too much McFly, your virginity grows back.
Does it?
Yeah.
Hey. I'm going back to school. I think that there's not. I mean, happiness or joy is like it's a one-dimensional emotion.
Well,
I feel like you can
quoting Nicky Wire from another favorite band, the Manic Street Preachers. Please tell me you've heard of Manic Street Preachers.
I have, and I've heard of Nicky Wire, bass player, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And now the main songwriter and lyric writer. He said, because people asked them why they were so miserable all the time. And he said, well, happiness is private. Happiness is something I keep for myself.
Oh.
Very selfish. My misery I'll share with everyone. Happiness I like to keep to myself.
Yeah. But also I think that happiness never comes on its own. It's like contentment or bittersweet. Bittersweet is a sort of way of form of happiness. But things that you're more drawn to are the emotions you don't understand. You understand understand being happy.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy today. I'll write a song about being happy. Well, I'm happy. I mean, that's all he could come up with.
Days in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I can't tell if I was fucking happy or not when I wrote that. I was probably miserable. It was raining. It always rains.
Why does it always
rain on me? But that was the song that came out. But I wouldn't write loads of them because for every one Holidays in the Sun, there's 10 misery numbers.
I really like. So my new album has got a bunch of instrumentals on it.
It does.
How do you feel about instrumentals?
I would like to do more if I had the talent.
Okay, why do you not have the talent to be able to play
Well, there's one at the intro of the album that was kind of last minute.
Yeah. I guess no, don't dive the question. Why do you feel that you don't have a talent to play? Do you feel you're not proficient enough on the guitar to be able to like do the instrumentals that you want to do? Is that it?
Possibly, but it's also more of the fact that it's not where I feel like my talents lie.
Okay.
I feel that I am.
So you're playing to your strengths. Then,
I think my strengths probably lie more in the vocal melodies.
For sure. But I would say to develop as an artist, play to your strength for definite. But to develop as an artist, you've got to
go where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. You've got to go for those weaknesses and do that. I mean, one of the best pieces of advice ever said to me, and I can't try and pass it on as much as possible. And you said about you've said a couple of times that I don't have the time because I've talked to you about my practice regime with the guitar. I put in about an hour a day.
Yeah.
At the moment, I have done for what is coming up for 3.5. This is my 4th year now, and it's definitely been an hour a day. When I was working from home, sometimes 6. But you know, I was,
and you've never been happy in a job till now.
No, I didn't want that fucking job. That made me,
too much free time to play guitar.
But yeah, I would literally stand in here playing that Strat for fucking.
I'm not miserable enough in this job. How can I write any songs?
All I can do is stand there and play guitar all day. That's shit, isn't it? So I think I think you can make time. You can make time. But my advice was going to be that I think what's carried me through as an older person, being literally like twice your age. No, not literally twice your age. 21 years older than you. That learning to play my instrument well, not properly, because I think there are various degrees of he's not playing it properly, it's not holding his pick at that angle. We hear this all the time, like harmonica players. He's puckering, not tongue blocking, so he can't be correct. Fuck off. It's absolute bullshit. It really is. So I'm an ambitious switcher and listen to my albums. Can I play? Not, I don't know. Anyway, but my point is, like, if you can learn to play your instrument really well, really well, just like master it the best you can.
Yeah,
I think that'll carry you through. I really think so. There'll be, like, as you get older, perhaps you'll have a lull where you can't write those amazing songs, where you can't be that. But if you can play that fucking guitar like the wind blows, man.
Well, I feel like I've done that with my voice for this one.
I completely agree. Your voice in parts of this is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
I really like to. I work on expression, which I used a bit of a studio technique on that one. Didn't we?
You became the Edge.
Yes. No. I didn't mean with the guitar. I meant with your vocals.
Oh yes,
so where we overlapped them for that, because live, like you said, you had a great conversation with Jake Raywood. You were telling me, a very talented guitarist. You were talking about
Jake.
You're saying that doing things live.
I doubt he's
away with you could get away with other things. Probably an open mic somewhere in the city. I'm in the city at an open mic. Of course we are. So I think it's things you get away with, but yeah, your vocal will definitely, you'll get work as a singer fucking anywhere, absolutely.
Yeah, that was the work that
your voice holds out.
That's what I was going for in this album. I knew that, first thing I noticed with bands is the voice.
Dead End's Lane for me has a really standout vocal performance.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite on the album.
But it was one you were going to throw away. It was going to completely drop it. Why didn't you drop it?
Because of this charming, thoughtful young man over here. He said, "Don't drop that song."
Well, he sent across. So he sent across the songs to me, and so when I said, "Yeah, I'll help out. We'll see what we can do." Send them across. So we either had GarageBand projects off of your iPad, or you exported the stems, so those are the individual guitar, vocal, this, that, and the other. And the vocals were fucked on all of them, apart from Dead End's Lane. And it was literally on Dead End. So you had a go at the AI drums for most of them, and then or put a drum machine on some of them. So it's something keeping time rolling around, weren't there? And so I replaced...
Not much more.
Sorry about that. I replaced all the drums, apart from... I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. But there's a couple I didn't. so on Dead Ends Lane, there was literally just acoustic guitar and a vocal, and there was no drums, no bass, no nothing. So I was like, that's a beautiful song. All right, we might need to re-record the vocals. Because you got a bit flat because it felt like you were pushing too hard in the places you didn't need to.
Yes.
So I was like,
because I wanted to drop
and you
the
was
key.
like, yeah, I wanted to drop the key because that'll help my vocals. And I was like, I don't need to tell you this, mate, but I've literally put harmonica, bass, and drums on that. So if you were to change the key, I'd have to re-record 2 of the instruments and probably do blah 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 blah. And he was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, perhaps I'll just re-record the vocals. And you came round, and like I said to you, look, just don't. I can tell when did vocal training, although I don't sing so great myself, I get by. Oh, Mr. DSL, I'm sorry I'm late here now, though. Happy release, though. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Darren.
Hey, Darren.
You've missed all the lovely talk about you. We're not going back.
I'll always find time to say lovely things about Mr. DSL.
We want the album. Release it now.
No, don't pressure him. It'll be great. It's taking its time, but it is in production. Very excited. Very excited. And I thought, like, this is a great song. If we could just record that, but you are pushing them vocals too hard. You are doing that, and like, although I can't always do it, it's difficult because the kids say, like, well, what the fuck do you know? Who am I? What do I know? But. I was kind of right.
You really helped with it.
And you came round and re-sang it, and I put like I said, I'd already recorded the bass and redone the drums, and I put this harmonica intro and harmonica end at it. And it's like then I put some lead guitar. Check me out.
And some sparkles.
I've put some lead guitar in a fair few of these songs, haven't I?
You have. You probably played more lead than me on a lot of it. Honestly, I'm a complete charlatan. Acoustic guitar, rhythm guitar, bass, and some vocal harmonies.
Oh, is that all? Just the 4 instruments?
Just the 4.
But we were talking about before where you do your trade, where you do your time. You're a proper, like, massive gigging musician, as I was, like, as a teenager. So you're out 2-3 times a weekend, and I think that regular gigging, like, properly sharpens you up. And you said to me, well, sometimes it makes me more sloppy. So I think it sharpens because it gets you used to, like, doing things on the fly.
Sloppy's the guitar playing. It improves the voice, because otherwise you just fuck your voice up completely.
Sure. How do you preserve that then?
Just by learning how to do it, not having a drink before the show.
Yeah, because dehydration, singing on the breath.
Yeah,
because that's something we learned in the studio, wasn't it? To get those long phrases in expression as well, to sit on the breath and sing on the vowels as well. Take the pressure off.
I forgot that one. Falsettoing, not pushing it when you falsetto.
Yeah, because you don't need to. It's already there.
When the chorus of Dead Ends Lane comes in with that chorus, it was proper pushed, and it's now really soft. And the chorus isn't really like a crescendo; it's kind of like a softer, might even be softer than the verse. The whole song is like tiptoeing on a pillow made of feathers, kind of thing, isn't it?
And I think, like,
completely different. Did you have else on the album?
Totally, but did you have an idea? And it's one that I actually mixed and mastered.
You did,
opposed to Raoul.
Yeah.
So is it one that you thought, like, you thought, well, every song's got to have, because people get formulaic in their songwriting, don't they? And I think that's a great thing about having an eclectic album. Why I'm so pleased with Journeyman, and I think it's similar to yours, yours is Scirocco Moments, in the fact that it's, like, eclectic. So there's no formulaic songwriting on there. There's no, this song must build to this crescendo, must have a guitar solo, must verse, chorus, mid, late, verse, chorus, end. I know songs aren't so much like that anymore. They're just like these 2 bars repeated over and over. I'm taking the piss, obviously. But, there doesn't seem to be any formula.
No, I think the songwriting is, is the thing I take the most pride in whatsoever. First and foremost, I wanted to be a songwriter and to showcase a different range of them. I feel like the songs on Borderlines were very similar in a lot of the ways. And this, I wanted to, like, just go, right, I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at it and just have something like that. They're all pop songs, really, or pop rock songs, but they're all kind of lean into different genres. And that's one of the things I love about pop music, is it can be inspired by lots of different genres.
I think it could be. I'm not so sure anymore.
It's packaged into a sort of, well, what I consider to be, like, great pop music of all time.
This is it. I think you're an old soul, because it also makes me laugh that I was thinking about this earlier today.
You keep saying you forget how young I am.
I do. You are an old soul. I've met your parents, so I realise why.
Hi, Mom.
She's lovely. I love your old dear. We had a hug in the car.
You did. Well, you picked up like 5 crates of lager
they're
for
probably
her.
still in your fridge at home from 6 months ago.
You're drinking them.
Challenge accepted. It's funny because I was thinking about influences. Now, when I was your age, and my influences were my parents' record collection.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're talking Queen, ABBA, Elvis Presley. Mum loved Elvis Presley. She, it was a bit before her time, but she still loved it. Black Sabbath. Any skinny white rock dudes my dad loved. Any sort of Motown. My mum loved all of Tamla Motown and stuff like that. So those are my young influences. Now, you, on your Spotify profile and through our conversations, tell me very much that like 90s indie rock and Oasis and stuff like that were your thing. Now, you were either not born or too young to understand. So I've met your parents. Did they listen to a lot of Oasis?
No, not at all.
So where does that where do those influences come from?
My mum's favourite rock band is Take That, if you asked her.
Holy fucking shit. What music does your dad like then? Does he even like music?
He likes the sound of the cash register.
Bless him, a man after my own heart. Probably, and he would know how to take it out as well with a butcher's cleaver.
Indeed. Let's not get that far, shall we?
Yeah, so where does this music taste come from? What are early recollections of music for you?
My early recollections of music, well, like you say, my parents' record collection,
which was Take That.
Yeah, it was Take That.
But I'll tell you what, Gary Barlow was a fucking excellent songwriter.
The
superb,
the Beautiful World album from 2006 when they came back had Patience on it, which is like a fantastic single.
Just tell me again how old you were in 2006.
4.
No, you weren't.
Don't worry, I got to lie about my age at the moment. Otherwise I won't make it. I'm 17.
Jesus Christ.
But even like that is an imprint on me. Like that was great. Like
it's a superb songwriter, and Gary Barlow did his time as well. He worked those like northern clubs,
men's clubs, yeah,
working men's clubs. I don't suppose you've even never been to a working men's club. Well, no,
I've never been working.
So we did
properly. I just
no. My point was that I think they were a thing of the past, but they were very much the thing. And I did do a lot of gigs in those as a young man.
Yeah,
and nursing homes and all sorts of stuff. Really, fuck yeah.
Playing the harmonica.
Yeah, in our kids' harmonica bands, we gigged literally everywhere. Our managers would take us to fucking anywhere, absolutely where. Yeah.
Today you're on Blue Peter. Tomorrow you're in an old people's home.
Not a joke.
In Scunthorpe.
Not a joke. Wow. Next weekend,
it's a roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah. Next weekend you're demonstrating harmonicas of Bahona in the London Olympiad, and the weekend after that we're playing in the Ship in Caister. Not kidding.
Nothing wrong with the Ship in Caister.
It was like that, and then back to school for you.
Yeah. Back to school.
I went back to school after we played Glastonbury in 1989. Was in 1989, and they thought I'd left.
Yeah,
so I'd been taken off the register.
Like he's not coming back.
And it happened again when we went on tour of America.
Really?
Yeah. I've been taken off the register. They thought I'd left. I'd fucking left.
Had you had time off school, or?
Yeah. But back in those days, the two guys that were our managers were given what was called a matron's license. Look it up, and it was basically that they had the power of our parents whilst we were in their care.
Really?
Yes. Isn't that terrifying? And why it doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah.
Fucking hell! Can you imagine?
I can definitely see how that could have been taken advantage of.
Well, rumors were that it was, but there you go. Story for a different time. Yeah, fun times. Yeah, it's been interesting watching the music world change and gigging change and recording more than anything change massively, and expectations of where those recordings get you and where music can take you, because expectations have massively changed.
Sure. What I was going to say is we were talking about influencers. Your influencers, you said that you listened to your parents' record collection.
Yeah.
Would you feel that obviously you've developed your own interests and admirers over the time, and getting in the harmonica, it doesn't sound like a lot of that was related to what your parents listened to. Was there much did they instill you being a harmonica player in your young age?
No, my mum bribed me to give up the harmonica at every opportunity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. She'd say I'd pay for you to play or learn to play any other instrument. She wouldn't, because we didn't have the money, but she would say, I'll pay for you to have piano lessons, do anything. And it wasn't necessarily the harmonica itself, it was the unscrupulous nature of our teacher / managers that she didn't want me hanging around with. Sure. It involved me having a lot of time off school. It wasn't, musician isn't a job. It's not a job. Was what they would say. It's not a job.
It's still not.
Well, there are plenty of people out there that make a decent living. Not necessarily. There's not, because that was what I was trying to get through. I said, not everyone's fucking Led Zeppelin. There's not like Led Zeppelin or Street Busker. There's plenty of people that make 20, 30 grand a year, gigging, going around, doing stuff, earning a decent living, doing those kind of things. And, I learnt my trade. And I said to her, I wanted to take like A-level music. And she said, well, why don't you take something, that's a bit more like going to get you a decent living? I said, well, I want to learn music theory. Beatles couldn't read music. Well, they were the Beatles. I love my mother to death. I absolutely love her. She's an absolute icon in my life and a huge inspiration on many, many other levels. But she didn't really understand the music industry. How would she? So I would say, if I want to make it as a session musician, or to play in an orchestra, or to do session work, or any of those paid things, or to teach, I need to understand music theory. Well, the Rolling Stones, made an album in a weekend. Yes. However, I want to study music so that I can go to music college and do that. And even actually, my harmonica teachers were very much like, hey, you don't want a qualification in music, mate. Just get out and play. Just do gigs. Just gig. Play everywhere. Do everything. Do all the time.
But you want to learn.
Like conflicting pieces of information. My music teacher, Mr. Alan Zitfeld, best music teacher, best teacher in the world, saying, learn music theory. This is a good path to music as a career. Read the dots off wallpaper. You'll always have work. Move to London, do that, fucking go on. And my parents going, no, get a real job. I want to be a policeman. Bless my heart. Go and work for the police. Go and do police apprenticeship, because you could do, or what do you call it, police cadets.
They were a good band, though.
Well, yeah, you see, I hear conflicting things. Not everyone loves the police.
Really?
But I think,
so unique.
Oh, my God. Have you seen the Andy Summers interview on, on Rick Beato's channel?
No, I haven't.
It's fucking incredible,
I've seen the Sting one. I haven't seen the Andy Summers one.
Watch the Andy Summers one. It's
really
fucking superb, yeah.
They're all geniuses, all three of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, Stuart Copeland is mad as a bag of spiders.
Well, there you go. Takes all sorts.
He does, doesn't it?
But yeah. Were you influenced by the Police? Did you like them?
Hugely. Yeah. Hugely. Dad played them a lot when I was younger. Just massively. Just like really intrigued by the songwriting. Yeah. And just Sting's voice was unusual.
That is it. It's
make it stood out. It was fun. They played fun songs.
So lonely,
and it was Sulawli. I feel Sulawli. Sulawli. So
another admirer of yours?
No, okay. she was a TV presenter in the 1980s.
Okay, wow, you're showing your age now, Paul.
Always the white in my beard shows my age.
Yeah, going back to influences. I don't feel that you if you're a sponge, like I think both of us are, we soak things up. I can read, a Mickey Mouse statue, and I'd write a song about your Mickey Mouse award from 1992 or whatever.
That's not 1990.
Is it?
No, it's 1990, I do believe.
1990. Sorry, Mickey.
Doesn't actually have the date on it. And no, I'm
it's
not
every year.
It.
It's every year.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse comes round to shake your hand every year.
He does now. The copyright's free on him.
Oh yes, he does indeed. Wow, there's some weird videos on the internet now. I can imagine.
Bizarre Mickey Mouse porn. Slashers. So influences. Yeah, I mean, everything influences. Musical influences. I've got hundreds, really. Absolutely hundreds. I've never really been into the blues, as people like to say. The blues is a weird one. So I made You Don't Even Know, that first album of mine from 2019, really, because I thought, well, harmonica guys love a blues album. If I can appeal to the harmonica guys and get them to like me, also, this is what I can do. So I picked a few tunes that I know they all like and stuff like that. And hopefully, that'll get me an in. And then I can,
you have a following then, and then you can fuck with them.
No, just prove what I got. Just listen to my harmonica playing, but it didn't really work out that way, and it still hasn't really, I guess.
Sure, but do you feel like the Invisible Prism was your first kind of purest version of what you wanted artistically? Then,
no, not really. No, not at all. In a strange way, I feel like this one is like Journeyman is.
Yeah,
like, because it's kind of pure, because it's just like, I write, like your album I think is really true to yourself, because you're right. Get your foot off me, mic stand. It's like, it's like it's just rattling through my ears. So I think that it's true to itself. You don't just write songs in one genre or write a bunch of songs about that particular subject, because I think that's a project. I think writing songs for a project or in a particular genre is a fantastic thing to aim for.
Yeah.
But it's not who I am necessarily as an artist. And I think it's a great thing. People have written all sorts of concepts, like, I'm going to write a blues album, which I did. I wrote 2. And Mr. Smith was a bit more eclectic, a bit more outside of the blues, a bit more indie rock, leaning towards my things. And because I love listening to indie rock music, and although it is my favorite kind of music, it's not necessarily who I am. Because do you not find that the music you listen to is different from the music that you want to write and create?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what I've listened to. I'll hear a song, I'll listen to that. I'll put something else on, I'll listen to that. I'll be listening to things that I'm like, I would never listen to this 5 years ago. But
would you ever play those songs? Would you ever write a song like it?
Maybe after I've listened to it and digested it, and I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I guess I'm writing what I have digested a while back.
We do. I mean, I saw an interview with Steve Vai. It was actually on RPO. We said he was writing stuff.
You'll be on there soon, Paul.
What the fuck? It was basically writing stuff that were part of his practice routines.
Really?
Yeah. So he's pick a practice routine and then write a song around it.
That's cool.
But then didn't Slash do that with
Sweet Child of Mine?
Yeah,
he said it was a joke, basically.
Didn't do, because it's a practice routine around that D shape.
I mean, that's how things go, as a happy accident.
Yeah.
I think Expression was a happy accident.
Really?
I can't remember writing it, to be honest. I'm going to say it is, because that makes it sound cooler. But yeah, I'd like to know more about your harmonica style, in sense of, I think it was your Spotify bio where you said that you like to play harmonica unorthodoxly, and you like
use that word. It's not.
You wouldn't use that word.
No.
Okay, something a bit more Paul Gillings.
I think you might,
unbeknownst to the social norm,
you might be referring to my YouTube channel, using it as an actual rather than just an effect. So
sure.
I think a lot of harmonica players use the harmonica and they use it as, it's like, oh, that sounds like that's a harmonica.
Sounds like a harmonica.
That's a harmonica kind of sound, but it isn't necessarily what a guitar doesn't do. A guitar sound, it doesn't just go jing 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 jing. A guitar does everything. A piano does everything. It doesn't just do although there is the sound and timbre of a piano, but I feel like the harmonica is used as a little bit of a noise, as an effect,
novelty instrument.
Yeah, almost, yeah. And I think there's I spent so much time listening to harmonica albums, so many instrumental harmonica albums, which is why I wanted to do my own. Because my heroes have done that. Lioska's done harmonica instrumental. Jean-Jacques Milteau is another fabulous harmonica player, done instrumental albums. And I'm like, why don't I do one of those? But I can never get it together to do a full instrumental album.
Yeah.
So hence, Mr. Smith is, I think it's 2/3 vocal and 1/3 instrumental, and this one's kind of half and half, almost half and half with an instrumental, like harmonica.
You're slowly getting there.
There's one instrumental that has Danny R on guitar, Like and
Danny R.
7844.
Smooth with that guitar, Danny R.
Fucking superb. It's so atmospheric. It's like it was on the intro to this. It's absolutely superb. It says big up the keyboard for the woof noises. Made my
the woof noises. DJ. That was the effect.
This person went to school in the 90s because that's what keyboards did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Brilliant. Yeah, so I wanted it to be more of an actual instrument. And I think, like, even if it is an instrument, I mean, for example, I'm going to Harping by the Sea in Brighton next weekend, a harmonica festival that I helped run virtually when over COVID. And then, like, they've been running it, like, in person for years. And it's a fucking great festival. My busy mate, old Richard Taylor, superb harmonica teacher, runs it.
Oh, nice.
But even though them guys are still very... It's all a bit bluesy and a bit Little Walter is the main harmonica players, and it's all very that kind of thing. Now, why has the harmonica never made it into the mainstream? Is it because it's a shit instrument? Because, like, I don't know, the fucking banjo hasn't, or the fucking harpsichord or whatever it is. Are we in that category? Because I don't honestly believe that.
No, I don't either. It's cool. It's a cool instrument.
It's super cool, right? And I don't understand why it hasn't quite gone into mainstream territory like the guitar has.
Maybe because of its kind of size. It looks not like a guitar. People see it, it looks like a tool.
And also
to pick up and play.
For a professional instrument that is £40.
Yeah.
You can't take something seriously that costs so little, I guess.
I think that's what it is.
I think that's what it is.
You just got to play the shit out of it like you do, Paul.
It is, however, the most sold instrument in the world.
Is it?
Per unit.
I have a harmonica. Did I tell
there you go.
It says Guinness on it. I guess it came free with some Guinness.
Yeah, they did a promotional thing. So did Jack Daniels. They did a promotional thing. I think I've got a Jack Daniels one somewhere. I can't remember.
It was given to me by an old family friend who passed away. I can't get rid of it.
Cute.
I've never learned how to play it.
You can't get rid of it.
I physically can't. I
try throwing it away and it turns up on your shelf again.
It's like a boomerang that comes back and whacks me in the back of the head. I think what your harmonica playing tells a story more than anything. I think a lot of it is used as like an effect. Well, you think Dead Ends Lane, it starts off with that little picky riff.
Yeah.
There's a real soulful, like, sadness and bittersweet kind of ending to that harmonica line that goes into it, and it really captures because the song's basically about a relationship which is doomed. And it's kind of like that.
It's a dead ends lane.
Yeah, it's a dead ends lane.
I think that your thing is you got a solo there, and like with solos. Like, Brian May, I can quote with these musicians. I'll find my own quotes one day.
It's like know stuff about music.
It's almost like I've listened to shit. So
everything's recycled, as they say.
Brian May says, like, solos need to have corners, need to tell a story.
Yeah.
And I try to apply that even to the guitar solos that are in there as well. It's like there's got to be, this is a song within a song. Right? Every solo, that's got to be telling the tale to start off with. It's got to pull people in, then it's got to lead them, because you start off because it starts in the major and it goes to the minor, so I've got to lead people to the minor.
Sure.
I can't just like do my bit and go, no, it's up to you now. I've got to lead you all in and go, think I've got to tell the story, like, and sometimes you've got to give a bit of the melody away in order to go like, well, this is what the rest of the song is like. You've got to have a bit of the melody, but that's like almost jazz extemporization. Like jazz starts off with like with it, you've heard them like Sweet Georgia Brown or any of those things. They start off with the melody, like as it is, like straight.
Yeah.
But then it deviates the second time round.
Yeah.
Third time round, it deviates a bit more. Fourth time round, it deviates.
It's that deviation that.
Yeah. And by the sixth or seventh time, the tune is utterly fucking unrecognizable, and you're off on a tangent, and you're all fucking going for it.
That's when you feel like you're floating, though, isn't it?
But I think you've got within a solo, you've got to get a bit of the melody and a bit of a reminder of things. Like only a Brian May solo. He just gives away the melody and then takes it off on his fucking it takes it off into his own stratosphere, and you've got like a song within a song with a solo. Yeah. It's a big responsibility. You can't just whittle around a fucking minor pentatonic for 4 bars.
It's the same with vocal melodies. I find that when you sing verses, you sing the first verse straight up.
Yeah.
And the second verse, when it comes round, if you sing it to this exact same rigidness of that melody, it's like every inflection has to be the same. It loses feel.
See, with the melody, you're building the song. Although you're building the solo within the song, as the melody is even bigger mistake. It's the biggest responsibility because
it's where the song tends to deviate.
You can't give it all away in that first bit. You've got to save it. You've got to save it and save the inflections for the second verse, third verse, fourth verse, and build up until you're fucking going for it on the last one. My favorite I was listening today is oh my god, this sounds terrible. Ben's got to go. Thanks, Ben. He's probably gone already. Thanks, buddy.
He's down the pub.
Bring back the podcast.
No. Yes.
No.
Massive fan of the podcast.
You do the podcast.
I listen to all of them.
Too much work. Yeah. Yeah. You got to build. I was listening to Carrie Underwood.
Ooh.
Yeah. Her 2012 album. So I was listening to Before He Cheats, and the way she builds the melody, it's the same fucking chorus, but every time she does that chorus, like she puts an extra growl, an extra grunt, an extra screech in. And the first one, she does it. She like, well, I dug my key into the side of this pretty little super four-wheel drive. Second one, well, I dug my key into the side of four-wheel drive. Fucking every time that chorus comes around, it fucking goes up a notch. So, this song is, and that bitch is pissed off.
Yeah, you could tell a proper singer when you hear them. You know, like you can't. There's a great singer can make a shit lyric sound like they really mean it. Or sound like it makes sense.
You've done an unfortunate segue, but I was going to say before you put that unfortunate segue in, but you think of Dead Ends Lane. So you bring a Dead Ends Lane. You really go for it that bit, and at the end you go, bring me back to Dead Ends Lane, and you bring us down again.
Yeah,
you bring us in to finish the song,
before
and then
it goes into that bridge,
and then this lovely harmonica bit comes in.
Played by Paul Gillings.
So it's almost like your melody floats into the harmonica, which is what I wanted to do with the harmonica on that. And it's one of those things that it all came together lovely.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that. That's probably why I like it the most, because it was unexpected.
Yeah,
it was me with an acoustic guitar and a vocal, and you basically made the whole arrangement. It was the same with the EP, which I released. My favorite track on that is called "Shoulder to Cry."
Yeah,
where it was literally just me playing 3 chords straight up, and Ollie kind of popped in and he did this whole like da da. And that was just completely like in the moment, happened in the time, and it was like I came up with something and then someone took it and made something that was better than the sum of its parts, you know.
Awesome.
And that's what inspires me the most.
Fantastic.
Maybe I should be in a band.
You are in a band, the Big Cheese.
So
you're in a covers band, the Big Cheese.
Yeah. That's a story for another day.
Yeah. Well, mate, I think we've been
rambled on
for long enough, really, and I'll leave these people to the rest of their lives.
Yeah, thank you for all tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about
no, mate.
Your record is coming out next Friday?
Saturday the 3rd.
Saturday. Oh, this is so. You're doing anti-establishment with this one, aren't you? You're just releasing it. But it was Fridays, wasn't it?
Who gives a shit?
This is true. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So this channel for my new this where I'm broadcasting, this is for my new music channel. My harmonica tuition will happen on Paul Gillings Harmonica. This will be all my music stuff from now going forward. So you have single out today, Expression. What's next?
Indeed. So the next single is going to be The World's Not Set in Stone.
When's that coming out?
Which is coming out on the 1st of March. So
1st of March, and then
I'm going to promote this for a week. Then I'm going to fuck off for a week, and then so you miss me, and then I'm going to come back, and then we've got new singles out until May when the full album is due out. We're also playing at the Barrel Sessions. You're on lead guitar.
Yes, we are.
And we have the deadly duo of Matt and Lloyd from the Big Cheese as the rhythm section.
Legends.
That's going to be great. That's on Wednesday, the 7th or the 8th of February.
Yeah.
That's going on
week
Facebook.
Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, week Wednesday.
Yeah, cool.
And the single's out. I just want to say thanks to everyone who listened to it, because it's being a musician and doing what I guess I've tried to do is kind of up the production value a little bit. You can be ambitious and become pretentious and, want to go for the next thing. But it's times like this, getting to sit and talk to you about it and hearing great feedback,
your own thing,
and having like people like Ben who come on there who loves music to want to come and talk about your song and just come on and be connected to other people, and all the people who I've shared it to and have said this is really great. Like, there's too many names to mention, but like, thank you all for just listening, and just that is the thing that gives me the boost. It's like the icing on the cake after you release it. It's not the success which you may or may not get, it's the fact that people say, oh, this song really moved me, or like that, like one person says that to you, it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, if you can move one person, then that makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it? That's difficult, lemon difficult, not easy peasy lemon squeezy to hold on to, because we want to oh my god, I've only got one like, and no, one like is totally worth it.
Yeah, if that person really means it. And,
absolutely.
Fame and fortune is not my end. That's not my end goal for this anymore.
Want to be famous. God, no. Fortune, I'd love that, but just for I'm doing it anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah, man. Well, it's been lovely, Jack.
Yeah, it has been wonderful. Sir Paul.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Take it easy, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Take care.